Okay, so level 3 is finding the center and the radius of a circle within the equation. So if you remember from last year, you did this skill called completing the square. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So if you look at this equation, you don't really know right away how to identify what the center is. You don't want to know what the radius is. So remember back in algebra, and when we were factoring even, when we had something like y squared plus 6y plus 9, and we factored it saying, okay, well, y plus 3 and y plus 3, and we could say that using y plus 3 squared. So if you remember that, okay, that's called perfect square trinomials, and that's what we're trying to create here within our x groups and our y groups, and I'll take you through that here, and then you can try one on your own. So in number 4, we have x squared minus 4x plus y squared minus 6y plus 9. So what you want to do here is we want to group the x's. So we got x squared minus 4x, and I'm going to say plus something. Okay, that's the x's, and then I'm going to put in the y's. Y squared minus 6y plus something. Okay, and then I'm going to move the 9 over. So you want to equal negative 9. And then just like before, when you add something to one side, you have to add it to the other side. Okay, hopefully this will make sense here in a little bit. So, like I said, you want to get just the x's and the y's on the left-hand side. The numbers will go on the right-hand side. Okay, and you'll need to add a blank to each group. To the x's, that's this one, and to the y's, and then you also need to add that same number to the left and the right side to make it equal. Okay, so thinking ahead, you have x squared minus 4x plus something. Now I want to put something in that blank that will allow us to write it in terms of, like we did before, y plus 3 squared. So here's the trick that will get you to do that. You're going to take this middle number of negative 4, divide it by 2, and square it. So negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So a 4 will go in this blank, and a 4 will go in this blank on the other side of the equal sign. The reason why that works is because if I try and factor just the x's here, it'll be x minus 2 and x minus 2. So since I can write the same factor, it's going to be x minus 2 squared, and we're starting to see that equation of the circle. So we're going to do the same thing with the y. We're going to take that middle number of negative 6, divide it by 2, and square it. So that's going to be a 9. So we're going to put a 9 here and a 9 on the right. So again, the reason why that works is because if we factor just the y groups here, we can write it as y minus 3 times y minus 3, or we could write it as y minus 3 squared. And again, we're creating that equation of the circle by doing this. Okay, and then on the right hand side, we got negative 9 plus 4 plus 9, and that's just going to equal 4. Okay, so our equation of our circle is x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 4. So now that we have the equation of the circle in standard form, it's very nice for us to work with. We're going to look at the center of the circle, which are these two coordinates here. So our center is at 2, 3. And your radius, remember, this is your radius squared. So if your radius squared equals 4, your radius is going to be the square root of that. And it's only going to be the positive number out of that because negative numbers don't make sense here. So your center for this one is at 2, 3, and your radius is at 2. So on your note sheet, I want you to try this on the second one. Okay, get everything equal, get x's and y's on one side, so I'd move that negative 10 over first, and then see if you can complete the square. So go ahead and try it, pause the video, and then play it when you're ready. Okay, so like I was saying, I want to add 10y because I want to get variables on one side, numbers on the other. So I got x squared minus 8x plus something plus y squared plus 10y plus something, okay, equals 9 plus something plus something. Okay, so I'm going to take that middle term and divide it by 2 and square it. So this is going to be 16. So I add it here and here. And that's because I can write it like this. So I can write it as one single term squared. Okay, doing the same thing for the y's. 10 divided by 2, and you square it. This is going to be 25. So I'll add it on the left and on the right. And again, it's because I want to write it using two of the same factors, so I can get it to look like the equation of a circle without changing anything. So y plus 5 squared. Okay, now 9 plus 16 plus 25 is 50. So if we're identifying what our center is and what our radius is, our center is going to be at 4, -5, and your radius is going to be, okay, remember this, r squared equals 50. So the radius is going to be the square root of 50, which you can simplify into 5 root 2. Okay, so those are level 3s. Let's work on the practice level 3s and let me know if you have any questions.